Max Muncy says, damn the torpedoes. I'm Brad J. This is Dodgers Digest. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. Tell you what, fastest growing Dodger channel out there. All right, let's get to the story. Max Muncy says, damn the torpedoes. Now, look, you know what I'm talking about. Torpedo bats have been such the rage ever since, what was it? New York beat, I forget who they beat, Milwaukee, 20 to something. And the first four pitches of the game were all home runs. And a lot of the Yankees, or a few of the Yankees, are using the torpedo bats. That is what the big story is in baseball. The torpedo bats are everything. Guys are getting hits that don't get hits. Guys are knocking them out of the park that usually don't knock them out of the park. And what the torpedo bat does is basically move the sweet spot down from the barrel down towards the logo. So if you're popping up, you bring that sweet spot, the heaviest part of the bat, a little bit down, and that's supposed to give you the pop. Okay, well, a lot of people are saying, MLB, should they ban it? Should these things be banned? They're illegal. They're not illegal, and they're not breaking the rules. If you look at the rules on their bats, it's actually within the rules. So this year, it's going to be too late for them to do anything about it, but Max Muncy, he got caught up in the hype too. He wanted to try the torpedo bat. So as soon as he saw everything going down, and he wasn't having the best year, Max is like, you know what, man? Maybe I should try the torpedo bat. And so Max puts an order in for the torpedo bat. It arrives at Dodger Stadium. He uses it at BP, and he uses it pretty much most of the game, last night's game. Last night's come from behind victory for the Dodgers. And what did he do? The at bat that counted the most for Max Muncy was his last at bat, where he had the game tying hit, which scored 2 RBIs, and that was with his old bat. He said, damn the torpedo, threw the bat down, went back to his old bat, and then he got the 2 ribbies, which tied the game up, and then also made it easier for Shohei to get the go-ahead and the walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth. So the hype is there. Is the hype real? Was this a one-off situation with the Yankees? What do you think about those torpedo bats? But Max Muncy, I'll bet you anything, Max Muncy, when it comes to Philadelphia, is not going to be using the torpedo bat. And why would you? Why would you, if the moment you set it down after, I think he was over on that, he set it down, and he was done with it. So Max Muncy used the torpedo bat, stopped using the torpedo bat, and got the 2 RBIs, which they needed to tie the game up in the 8th inning for another come from behind a win for the Dodgers, which I think is 6 out of 8. Is 6 out of 8 games. And here's the scariest thing about it, people. The Dodgers aren't even firing on all cylinders. Look at the batting averages. They're not up there in the batting averages. Most of their wins have been because of the long ball, but the batting averages aren't not as good. So the Dodgers doing this with lower batting averages and already with 8-0, the future looks bright, my friends. The future looks bright. All right. Dodgers are a perfect 8-0. How sweet is that? No team has ever done that. No reigning World Series champ has ever started off the season that good. Never. Not 8-0, not from returning for the World Series win. So they're already in esteemed company by themselves. You've got to give it up for the Dodgers right there. 8-0. Now, the next mark I say the Dodgers got to beat was the 1955 Dodgers. They were 10-0 to start the season, and that was their first World Series win in New York. One of the biggest ones, too. 1955 was the Boys of Summer. That was the big one for them, and now that's 10-0. So Dodgers eyeing that. They got Philly, and we'll see how that works here coming up on Friday and Saturday. But there he is. There's the man. And I mean, you couldn't script it better than a damn movie, right? I mean, you got the guy who comes up on his bobblehead night. It's his bobblehead night. He comes up to bat, and what does he do? And it's like Oral and Joe, who were doing the TV for the Dodgers. They were both calling it with Pajes up before Ohtani. They were wanting Pajes to basically not do something big so Ohtani would have that opportunity, and he had the opportunity, and he took it. And this team is amazing. And that goes back to what I said before. What was I saying about the Dodgers? I was telling you this, that no matter what the lead is, you got to feel the Dodgers can always come back. Look, it was 5-0 in the second inning, and the Dodgers came back, and I was at the same point. I was like, you know what? They got a good shot at coming back at this and just chip away, and that's how it worked. But those 2 throwing errors from Muncy, not good. And one of those throwing errors could actually put Kike in danger because it threw as the runner's coming at him. That's what happened to Muncy, where the runner can actually take you out, break that wrist pretty darn easy when you're trying to tag him right there. So, listen, love Kike, love him being on the Dodgers, but Freddie Freeman is the all-time first baseman, and I think Freddie probably makes that catch, that one hopper that Muncy threw to him, but 2 throwing errors for Muncy, but he made up for it. You've got to give him credit. He made up for it in a big way. All right. Got off to an ugly start. 8 innings, claw their way back to the ball game. Set the stage for Ohtani, who delivered the walk-off blast, 6-5, and the undefeated for the Dodgers. And this all, like I said, coming on his bobblehead night. Everyone knew. Starter Blake Snell said, we just knew it's just what he does. And that's what Snellzilla said regarding Ohtani. And that's what he does. He does just that when you need him to do just that. So big props to Ohtani with the walk-off. Dodgers will have a break, and then they'll travel to Philadelphia. Yamamoto will get the start on Friday. And Sasaki, boy, this is a big start for him on Saturday, man. Saturday is so important for Sasaki to show that he's there, and he means business. All right, keeping the stories going. Dodgers just get the fastest man in all of baseball. Esteury Ruiz is the guy we're talking about. Oh, wow, from the A's. This guy can play some ball. I mean, he can run, that's for sure. Hitting, well, he's got a little bit to be desired on the hitting side of it, but here's how it worked. This is what the Dodgers posted on X. They acquired Ruiz from the Sacramento Athletics, I will refer to them as, in exchange for a right-handed pitcher, Carlos Duran. In order to make room on the 40-man roster, the Dodgers transferred a right-hand pitcher, Kyle Hurt, to the 60-day injured list right there. So with a guy like that, he is fast. But you know what makes me think, okay, he's an outfielder. Love the fact that we got a real fast outfielder. Talk about a guy that can play center and's got the speed to run down basically anything. And then you got a pinch runner whenever you need those runs. You got a guy like that. His bat is not the best. So can the Dodgers bring his batting around to match his speed? And you got to wonder if that's going to be possible for them to do that. But Dodgers are solid at that. Let's see what happens with Ruiz. But he is considered the fastest man in baseball. And so the Dodgers, sneaky, just getting that much better. All right, so solid stuff right there. It is time for your Dodgers Digest quote of the day. And this one has got to go to none other than Max Muncy. All right. So here's what Max said. These are a couple different, they had 2 interviews with him. And the Torpedo Bat had my swing off, and he was off. Like, what was he, 0-3 to start the game? So I switched back to my old bat for the final AB. To finally come through for my teammates was a little emotional for me. And you could see it, man. You could see it in his face. You could see that he was not happy the way things are going. And that's a frustrating situation. Look, you go and think, maybe the Torpedo Bat's going to solve everything for you. You go get the Torpedo Bat. All of a sudden, you're 0 for again. You're like, what the heck? Now they really need me to help tie the game. It's the 8th inning. Screw it. I'm going back to my regular bat, and goes and gets the knock and scores 2 RBIs, ties the game up, and opens the door for Shohei to have the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th. That was absolutely amazing. And if Max, if you're watching, bro, go back to the old bat. It's working for you. Throw the Torpedo Bat somewhere else. Put it on the shelf. Don't use it again. All right? It's not all that. All right. That's going to do it. Dodgers Digest. Brad J. always with you here. Make sure you subscribe and like and turn on notifications as well. That's going to do it for me, man. It's been fun hanging out with you. Always remember, as you go through the day, to always think Dodger Blue.